Yeah, man. What a good day. What a good. Hey, what up, everybody? I'm John Zidar, the Wizzy. You know where you're at. This is a live stream for Penny Boys for On Top and Hot. We're looking at stocks that you brought me. You didn't bring me a whole lot this week, but that's okay. That leaves time for others. So, hey, do me a favor. Drop some tickers down in there. Not just for me, but for everybody. You guys have been playing stocks all day. You've got more than one in your pocket. So I have got a few lined up for us. Boy, I'm always so revved when I get here. I don't know if it's all the coffee I drink, the sativa I smoke, all the trading I do over at Penny Boys, or my own trading, or just all of that together hyping me up. But by the time I get here, God, am I wired. I'm excited though. It was a good day. I made some money. I appreciate you, Velmore. I see that you brought me IXHL, but then you made a comment down here. Nah, don't look at it, John. It's taking a big dead bird dump. ABP, we can do that. I've already got the information all done for the first one, but no biggie. We'll skip it. We'll go on to the next one that was in line. What do we got up here? The next one came from the Underdog Cooler. We've got that all lined up. Dino, yes, my friend. We have taken Toon, the cartoon company, over the other one. Cheers to you too, my friend. Yes, I see Mark finally made it in here. He has been busy. They're working him now. Yeah, at his job. They decided to make him do his job. That's the way he put it to me. I'm just kind of repeating what he said. But he squeezes in a couple trades and a lot of comments over there at Penny Boys while he's doing it. I appreciate Mark a lot. All right, folks, let's dive on into this. Hello, Larry. How you doing, buddy? Great to have you here. I love it when you guys show up late, early, or even just watching the recording. It's all good. All right, let's get that down. Let's get my, vertigo. I know. Okay, this was the first one we were going to look at, IXHL. This is actually a CBD psychedelic drug company. At least they say psychedelic there. I hadn't seen it, but they're working on different medicines. They got phase 3 trial that is just coming to an end for what was it, a dry eye disease? No, obstructive sleep apnea. So people who have a hard time breathing while they're sleeping, they've got something for that. And they had good financials. But I hear the chart took a dump. So we're going to just mosey on over to the next one. Do you have another one, Velmore? Throw it on the board. We'll see if we can. Well, ABP. You said ABP. We'll go for that. All right. Underdog brought us Cooler. Cooler I am familiar with. She's been hot off and on for a couple years. They develop and commercialize fiber thermal technologies for electric vehicle batteries, lithium batteries, and electronic systems. Their revenues are steady growing. They do have shareholder equity. They have an earnings call. That's going to be happening here in about 27 minutes, May 15th at 4:30. And we have no filings of real concern. Most of them are about the news, and the ones that are fresh really don't have anything to say to us that I think is worth sharing. So let's take a look at Cooler. This is ticker KULR, based out of Texas. Finished today at $1. Let's call it $1.50. She dropped about 7% today, falling almost 12 cents. This is a penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. They've got them. We just don't get to see a lot of them. Benefits that come with these stocks compared to the penny stocks in the OTC, you don't ever have to pay to buy or sell your shares, which can change the way you trade. Scaling in and scaling out, meaning you're having multiple purchases while you're averaging down, or you're selling, taking gains as she's falling or something. You do that on the OTC, you're losing money left and right. Every time you buy and sell, you got to pay a fee. You never do that on the major exchange. You get to trade pre-market, aftermarket. You never get to do that with OTC. And some of the biggest runners I've ever seen happen in those periods. And I think it's because there are no halts for volatility. When a stock starts to run during the day, it gets too hot, they stop it. Nobody there to stop it after hours. All the umpires go home. So that bad boy just does whatever it's going to do. It's pretty much the wild, wild west after market. And you get a lot more volume, a lot more money, and a lot more rules up on the major exchange, which is all good for the investor. So Cooler Technologies, this company makes a fiber that helps block heat from fires with lithium batteries. And they use it in a lot of different ways. They use them inside batteries. You've got numerous cells inside a battery, like little batteries inside one big battery. If one of those ignites, it just causes a chain reaction. Boom, 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 until the whole thing is burning. Well, they put these liners in there, blocking them off. If one ignites, it doesn't affect the others at all. It's just like a burned out diode on your screen. It just goes dead. They also make mailers so that you can mail lithium batteries of all different sizes. These have been approved, I believe, by both the UPS and United States Postal Service so that they can go on planes and all that sort of stuff. If they burn, if they catch fire, it will actually contain it inside these envelopes. They've also moved into a new business not too long ago, anti-vibration. I don't know if they're working with structures, engines. I think they're doing it all. But anti-vibration is another one of their sectors that they're working in. So taking a look at the news, we've got lots of news here, and I've gone back to March. Cooler expands Bitcoin holdings to 668 Bitcoin, reports 181% Bitcoin yield. This is great. A lot of companies, even states, I'm talking about the United States, Kentucky just did it. They add it to their treasury. It's better than putting it in the bank, for God's sake. BTC grows better than bank accounts do, and it's steady. We know it's going to be around forever. I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere now. They have increased up to 668, so you can multiply that times whatever Bitcoin's going for. That's what they've got just in Bitcoin. The company reported record fourth quarter revenues. That was back in March. At the beginning, halfway through April, the company expands in the high growth robotics market with German biotic AI-powered exoskeletons for U.S. workforce. Now, we're not diving into any of these news. We don't have the time for all of that, but you can see that's pretty interesting and it's worthy of more due diligence. The company was awarded a $6.7 million Texas Space Commission to advance cold temperature Cooler One space battery platform. And the next piece of news builds on that. Cooler and Astroforge partnered to develop advanced 500 watt hour battery pack for space missions. So they're working not just with batteries for cars and batteries for our computers. They're working for batteries for satellites and space missions and stuff out there as well. And the last piece of news we got here, Cooler launches blockchain to create secure and verifiable supply chain. I'm not quite sure what all that entails, but you can see they are advancing their products, they're advancing their supply chain. They've got their financials coming out. The last one was a record-breaking revenues. Are we expecting that this time? Maybe I get you out if you're quick enough. We'll find out. Taking a look at the relative volume for the company, we'll check out the filings. We've been doing about 8 million shares over the last 30 days as an average each day. Today, we did over 100% of that to 17.8 million. Share structure for Cooler? Yeah, it's an average one. We've got 284 million shares outstanding. Insider zone about 75 million. Well, no, can't trust that. That's from 2022. So I don't know what the insider zone, which means I don't know what the float is. All I know is that it can't be any higher than the outstanding share count, which means it won't be any higher than 284 million. But the insiders own something, and you've got to subtract that, and that gives you your float. So it's probably going to be considerably less. Market cap, we are currently at just under $500 million, 457 million. Financials for the company. This company's making money, and it's been growing. As a matter of fact, as I said, steady growing. I wanted to make sure there. They started off here at 2.4 million 4 years ago. You got to add 3 zeros to any of the numbers on these charts. Jumped to 3 million to 9 million. Now we're at 10.7 million, and their profits are increasing right along with them. We're up to 5.4 million, which is over 50% profit margin. Quarterly reports. They've basically been growing. They had a dip here at the beginning of the year, but right now we're at a high of 3.3 million, and we're getting to keep darn near 66% of that, 2.1 million. Balance sheet for the company. Remembering those 3 zeros here too. Cash and cash equivalents, which I think of as the bank. We got about 30 million. Total assets for the company is like 63 million. Ooh, liabilities is way down there. We're at 5.5 million, which means we've got lots of stockholder equity in this penny stock of about 57 million. So we ain't holding no bag here. Disclosures for Cooler. Right. We had lots of them here that correlate to the news, and then a couple about something else, which I really don't think are that important to share with you. So I'm going to bypass that. So let us take a look now at the chart for Cooler. I have not done this yet. This will be a virgin showing for me. Okay, Cooler it is. Goodness gracious, we've been looking at stocks everywhere. As you can see, I just had ABP and ABPWW, the warrant, up because I saw that Belmore made a comment on there on the comments, and I shared that with Penny Boys. Appreciate you, Belmore. I told you. So we're looking at APBWW there. The warrant took a big jump from about just under 2 cents to 3 cents. So that's a 50% jump in the warrant. The ticker, ABP. Let's get some meat on that chart there. So we're looking at a 1 hour. Let's kick this back as far as it goes. I don't know how far back it goes. Is this it? Let me see. That is May. Yeah, May 1st. I don't think it goes back any further. Let me check. Oh, it goes back way back. Way back. Okay. So I've got a yearly chart up here. We've got a high of $13. I don't see any purple bubbles, so I don't presume we had any reverse stock splits here. She was going sideways. I'm going to presume the way it looks here, this was a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company that comes onto the market with no business, no revenues. All they do is secure some real estate. They get themselves a ticker. Then they go hunting for a deal. Somebody who wants that ticker, who wants to get on the major exchange, maybe a lower exchange or maybe a private company. They've got 18 to 24 months to cut that deal. If they don't, they got to give back all the money to the people who invested in them. Now you say, how do they do that? Well, they sell all the shares for the company for $10 a share. We can bid on it if you want. You can make it go up. You can make it go down. But if this company fails to cut a deal, we're going to get $10 a share back, whatever you paid for it. You may lose money. You may make money on that deal. Normally on a SPAC, when it has news, and it has lots of news when it's making these deals, it's not the stock that runs. It's the warrant. Because the stock is only worth $10 regardless of the price. So people play the warrants. I used to do that. And I think that's why the warrant may have been running today, because people are used to watching it. Well, this is what happens after these companies close the deals. You expect it to run up. Everybody's excited. No, they fall hard. They fall hard. This happens so often. This went from $13 down to, oh my God, like 75 cents roughly. Stayed on this floor for a while till she crossed the 200, got close to the 50 and pushed away from it, actually coming down lower to a low of 15 cents when she was up here at over $10, 13 bucks. Right now, we are setting up for a loose 200 squeeze. I say it's loose because we're still under the 50. We already have a rising 200 haul and a falling 200 MA. The price is in the middle. That's perfect. It gets on top of that 200, that 50, it'll launch, folks. 8 out of 10 times this bullish pattern runs. I call it the 200 squeeze. I've never ever heard anybody else talk about it or even identify it in another name. I love this. And you get it for every stock that falls. It has to come back up, and this 200 squeeze is created in every single one of those situations. Looking at our oscillators, lots of volume in the picture today. And our oscillators are all warming up. Our ADX shot up really, really fast. Let's come on down to our 6-month, 4-hour view real quick. You can get a better view there of what happened. She fell. She tried to recover. Everybody was getting excited. She got up to the 38% fib, which is normally where you start to see a change. She rejected that. Came down, falling down to this low. Do we got anything building up? Right now, we have a 200 squeeze ready to ignite. We have a falling 200 at the top, a rising 200 at the bottom. No, a falling 200. We need this to rise, and it's flat right now. I presume tomorrow morning this is going to turn up. The price is already over the 50 on top of the 9. It's already broke through the 200 a few times today. It's come back down to the 9 each time with a wick that went down through multiple MAs, folks. Now, we don't get a chance to talk about this often. This is what I call a pillar. It could be called a fake out. People think the stock is going the other direction, so they get out. Or what this really does is it hits your stop loss. They know where our stop losses are at, underneath the strong MA here or underneath this one, underneath the support, and they push a wick down. See how the solid bar stayed above the line? It's above the 9, but the wick came all the way down. Well, I see that as building up to climb. This is like a foundation for a sky rise. You got to put them deep in the ground. So this thing went through dirt, clay, and sediment all the way through all of them, but never did the solid bar come down. As far as I'm concerned, this is ready to rip up hard. And we had a solid bounce coming from 17 cents all the way up to 37 cents, folks. That's over 100% run on that pillar bar right there. All of our MAs are starting to turn up except for the 200, which I promise you is going to start to turn up tomorrow morning. Our volume is very strong. We've had nothing to talk about, and all of our oscillators are warming up except our RSI. Our RSI is under 55, which is cold to me. I don't want it anything less than 55. We're at 54 right now. Taking a look at our 20-day, well, you can see we've still got that downtrend going. She's getting in position, but she hasn't quite grabbed it. When she grabs it, I expect a push. That volume right there tells me now is the time to watch. That big green bar down there on the ADX is also something. Look at that, parabolic. When the green bar gets over the red, that says your uptrend is taking charge of the board. And when the red starts falling, it's giving away the energy to the uptrend. This is looking perfect for a setup, folks. We can't see much here. Same thing. It's underneath the 50, between the 200s. We need this to get a little more volume, and she's going to run. By golly, what am I doing on my daily chart? I was supposed to be on the hourly. How'd I get there? All right, there's our hourly. Goodness gracious. So we had a bounce off the 200 when it turned blue. When it changed directions, folks, that's when we had this super big bar. It happens more often than not. When the price gets up over top of the 200 and it is turned up, you will get a push. If she is on top of the 50, she'll run to the 200 and through it. Well, she got over that 50 and blasted off over that 200. Shot up to that 39 cents from the 200's point, 17 cents. Came back down to that 200 again, our friendly 200, and boink, jumped again. Now she's down to the regular 200. Don't expect a big power boost here, but we could expect a bounce. Volume is falling away right now, but it is after hours. It's got to get a little bit cooler. And our oscillators are all getting cool. These last 2 bars have changed the entire thing for us. Down to our 5-day, 15-minute. Uh-oh. We got a double top here, folks. See that big letter M? M for murder. Normally at the bottom, right down here, if this comes down to this point, we could easily see it fall down. It could come below that 15 cents. That is a huge double top. Now, if it was a W, at the end of the W, you normally get a run up. Normally, the distance it moves after an M or W appears is the depth of the M or W. Basically, it can do more. Oh, God, yes, it can do more. So right now, we have had a downtrend the entire afternoon. She's at the dynamic duo. She is at the 50-day and the 200 haul, which should hold her, but I see a lot of bar coming underneath, so I'm not going to be surprised if she comes back down to that 200, and that's all the way down at 20 cents. Oscillators, they're all still falling. The only thing that is actually leveled out is our RSI, and it looks like it should be falling when all of our oscillators are falling, the PPO, the ADX, the MACD, but the RSI is not falling. And the RSI is about as close as you get to the price line. You change all these bars into a line and then compare it to the RSI, you're going to think you're looking at the exact same line. There's slight variations, but boy, they are close. All right, so that's ABP. Let me jump into the next stock, folks, which is Tune. Tune, this is short for cartoon. Tune came to us by way of Dino Trades. They do publish a lot of different cartoons. I was invested in this company quite a few years ago, and the CEO was the one that put out all of the news presses. He didn't do a good job of it. It was like you were talking to a director. He wanted to sell you on all the people who were involved, all the actors, the voices, the back behind the scenes. And it's like, no, give us some numbers. What are your revenues? You say you're changing your share count. What are those numbers? He never gave us numbers. Andrew, I think that was his name. He really started to irk me off because as an investor, you weren't getting the information you needed from his news. They tell us their revenues have been soaring. So Tune, she's based out of California, finished today at 75 cents. She was up about 17.5% today, jumping a little over 11 cents. Another hot penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. So this company used to be called Genius Brands. They changed their name to Tune. Genius Brands is a global content and brand management company dedicated to providing entertaining, enriching content and products with a purpose for toddlers to tweens. They have good cartoons. You aren't beating cats over the head with pots. You aren't Transformers shooting laser guns at each other. There's none of that stuff. It's all good moral stuff. Now, of course, the real reason they make all these cartoons, and it is a huge market, folks. I got to tell you, my mind was blowing. I got Netflix, and I don't ever look at cartoons. Occasionally I watch a Walt Disney cartoon that's, Pixar or something. But I put in letters in my search to find stuff I haven't seen instead of picking a word. And I'll just put in the letter B or the letter Q. You would be amazed at the search that comes up. 80% of it is cartoons. It's like, oh my God, look at all the cartoons here. But think about it, folks. Cartoons have no boundaries. They're the easiest thing to dub, right? You can put them in any language. Well, when you make a cartoon, if it gets famous, what do? You make coloring books, you make dolls, you make pajamas, you make blankets and curtains and candy and gum and all sorts of stuff that you make more money on. That's what they do too, such as toys, electronics, books, home goods, stationery, gifts, and more. The company owns a portfolio of original children's entertainment that is targeted at toddlers to teens, including the award-winning Baby Genius. Now, they have cartoons that use people we know, and obviously they have their permission. Warren Buffett, they have cartoons on investing and trading with Warren Buffett, believe it or not. They have one with Shaq, the basketball star, Shaq's Garage with the cars from Pixar. Who else do they have? They also have, let me see, I got a picture over here. Arnold Schwarzenegger. They got Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they've got all these people right now in their cartoons, and then they've got their own llamas, and then these other ones I'm not familiar with. So they've got a lot of different products, and they're now just starting to make money with them. I have gone back to February. Cartoon Studios partners with Samsung TV to launch free kids streaming channel in the US and Canada. I can't even tell you all the various channels they're on, folks. It is amazing. There's a lot of them, and it's not just in this country. Linda Wolverston, writer of Beauty and the Beast and co-writer of The Lion King, named executive producer of 100 Acre Woods, Winnie and Friends. I have no idea. We got names of Winnie the Pooh here, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and the writer of this. And this is what they do. They go out and get top-notch people. I can't say they don't. For years, I was seeing them because, like I said, Andrew only talked about the people he was bringing in. And it was like, wow, really? People are that interested in cartoons? What a team. So when you do due diligence on this, look at the people that are actually involved in the company already and see if you're not impressed about that. And let's see the last piece of news here. Company reported financials in March with results of 8.2 sequential revenue growth for Q4 2024, marking third consecutive quarterly increase. And then we had news come out today. Cartoon Studios reports Q1 2025 revenues with them soaring 56% year over year. Company is on track for profit by end of year. do believe I had some facts I wanted to share with you here. So they have been in the deficit. They are now moving into profit, which is a big thing. It has been a long time coming for this company. Their mainframe animation unit achieves profitability with revenues up 138% prior year and 29% sequentially, joining Cartoon Channel and Beacon Media profitable units. 4 straight quarters of growth, 0 long-term debt, profitable animation studio mainframe, profitable kids streaming service, and valuable IP projects set the stage for investor value creation. It's about time. I'm not in them anymore. I got out of them a long time ago. So total revenues are up 56.4% year over year. Production service revenues up 137%. Operating loss improved by 51% and 11.9% sequentially. General and administration expenses reduced by 24.9% and 56% year-over-year revenue growth in 4 consecutive quarters. So everything is looking good for the company right now. They've got lots of products, not just cartoons, but physical things. They've got lots of people that are worthy of considering top-notch members, and they are making revenues. It is all looking good to me. Finally, take a look at the relative volume for the company. Well, the relative volume is way up for what she's been doing, but it's not up on the New York Stock Exchange. She's been doing like 154,000 shares a day on a major exchange. Today, she did 6 times that much, 600% increase to just under 1 million shares, 900,000. Share structure for the company isn't bad. We're at about 47, 48 million. No clue what the insiders own, so I don't know what the float is. Won't be more than 48 million and could be considerably less. Market cap, we're at about 30 million right now. Financials. Okay. Wow. What a big jump there. From 2021 to 2022, they went from 7, let's call it 8 million to 62 million. Whoa. And their profit margin jumped huge from negative 14 to positive 12. From there, though, they've been falling from 62 million in 2022 to 44 million in 2023 to 32 million in 2024. The good news is that even though they made more money in 2023, we made more profits, like 3 times as much profit at the end of 2024. Looks like about 30%, 25%. Quarterlies. They're on an up note. It is the biggest quarterly report we've had in over a year. They've been doing roughly 8 million every quarter. This last quarter, well, 2024, they did 9.4 million. I don't think we actually got a number in the news, did we? Did they actually tell us any numbers on how much money they made? Nope, they never did. And we don't have it yet. You probably have to dive into the actual financial itself. Taking a look at the balance sheet, we've got 8.3 million in the bank, 85 million in assets. Yeah, it's lower. 50 million in liabilities. So we're holding strong revenues, strong profit, and we have stockholder equity in this company. 35 million. Looking good. Looking at the disclosures for the company. What do we got? That's 2016. SC13GA. This is a new investor, somebody who bought enough shares to qualify to become an insider. They are now part of the management team. This is Armistice Capital. They bought themselves 2.2 million, which is about 5% of the company. However, we did see a at the end of it, which means this is not today's. It's amended. This was done in March. So we really don't have to consider that, do we? We got an 8K today. This probably has to do with the financials because you always have an 8K come out with them. That's going to do with the letter. Did you actually give us? Here's a Baby Shack. They got a new cartoon. There's some of their cartoons there. They've got quite a few of them. Cartoon Studios reported 9.5 million with current assets of 25 million with equity of 30 million. There you go. Wow. Did you hear that? 25 million, folks. We just looked at 9 million as the last quarter. They just did 25 million. That's a huge, huge jump. Wow, I'm glad we dove into that to find out. Due diligence does pay off. Where were we? We were back at the disclosures. I think that is going to pretty much cover it. There's your 10Q if you want to get all the information about the company. I mean, all the way back to the day they were incorporated. This is where you get it, folks. Leave Google alone. Don't try reading every news press or 8K. Just get into 110K. That is an annual report. It will have all the information you need. And if you can get used to reading it, all of them are set up the same way. So if you're looking for one piece of information, find it. Wherever it sits in that 10K, it's going to sit in not like 99% of the 10K. So you'll always know where to go find it. Okay, that does it for Tune. We've got ourselves a catalyst, a huge boom in our revenues hitting profitability. So let's go take a look at the chart for Tune. It's Tune time. Take this back to a year. All right, just out of curiosity, I want to go back. I want to go back 5 years. No way. Yeah, there's a reverse stock split right there of 1 and 10 because we got a high here of $117. There's no way. Divide by 10. The reason we divide is because they multiplied every number on the chart. Every single number got multiplied by 10. So everything behind this purple button is a lie. You can't trust it. Everything on this side, you can believe those numbers unless you see another reverse stock split. So we got to divide that by 10, which means she did hit a high of $11.73 that day. Wow. All right, let's come on down to our yearly chart. So now we've got a real high of $1.09, and she has been in a downtrend to this low bubble of 46 cents. As you can see, she bounced off of that low bubble immediately. The very next day, she was up from 46 cents back on top of that 9 at 60 cents. Went sideways and took another dip. My point, when you see a bounce off of a low bubble immediately, normally the company has value. There's shoppers out there looking for low bubbles because they are good sales. That's a flashing for sale sign. And if a company has value, you'll see it bounce immediately. So it came back up, took a dip, got back up on top of the 200 haul here, pushed herself up onto the 50, has been sitting on the 50. Now we have a rising 200 haul, a falling 200 MA, and it is ready to run. She took a dip down to the 200, crouch, and pounce. You either have a rocket off of the 50 or you have a cat, crouch down to the 200 haul, happens a lot, and then pounce through every MA to and through the 200. You see me show this to you over and over again. And I say it over and over again because repetition sets concrete. Folks, this happens a lot, and you can see why we like to play a bounce off of the 200. Most people run when they see that. Man, as soon as I get my first bounce off of this, I'm in because I've seen this happen too many times to know it's most likely not going to fall. Now, of course, you're going to put in your stop loss, and I might just put it in at that low right there. That's really down there, but I'm just saying I'm very confident she's going to run. Let's take a look at our 4-hour, 6-month view. So we got a high now of 93 cents, fell down to that low of 46, bounced up. We're rambling around our 200 haul here. Then she bounced. When did she bounce? She bounced just as she is turning blue. She bounced a little early, but right here she is on the 50 right there, and right there she turns blue. That's when she starts climbing. She can see it. You know, this is the friendly MA. It considers the price in its calculation of where it's going to sit on the chart. And whenever that 200 is underneath the price and turns up, expect a push for the price. It's always there to help the price. And we got a solid push here from 51 cents up to 61 cents, back down to the 200, and then back up for a big run. And this is what I look for, a run from 1-200 over the first one, then a pullback. I'm going to take that as a play. I'm going to watch this pullback, and when she gets back up over the 200 and things turn up, that's your next play because now she's ready to run again. And normally it's stronger than the first one. And this next second one went from 56 cents up to 74 cents. You've got almost a 45% run there. Then a huge drop and bobble. She's following the 200 with a lot of volatility, a lot of big M's. You see our M there, right? And what happened at the bottom? It fell. Pretty much the depth of this. Then it came back up. We get a W. What happens at the end of the W? It runs up. You can learn a lot just by looking at this chart. Then we get a huge dip here, but this one would have scared the hell out of me on this chart. That's a solid bar. I would have got out. If my stop loss, if I wasn't using it, I would have sold because that's not a wick. That's a solid bar. But it tricked us. There's a lot of these. You look at the volume and you see if it's just a little volume that made it come down that far, a little bit of volume, or was it a lot of volume? If it's just a little volume, it's probably a fake out. If it jumps real high with just a little itty bitty volume, all the other bars are this big and a little bar made it go that high, it's a fake out. It's getting you to do something you're going to regret. You're going to regret. So this one was probably a fake out. Everybody dropped out, broke all their stop losses, and wow, she's off and running, going from that low of 55 cents up to 76 cents here. All of our oscillators are rising right now. Everything is warm. Lots of volume in the picture. You can see right here, we have got, let me grab that one. You can see that is an incline. Help me. Right there. Our volume is getting stronger and stronger over the last 3 weeks. Coming down to our, where are we at? Our 20-day 1 hour. So there's our low bubble of 52 cents. Once she got on top of the 50 with a rising 200, bound and determined, she's going to and through the 200. Once she got over it, she took a dip, bounced off the 200, and took a bigger run. Came all the way back down to the 200 with that rip there, bounced back up, and she's running again, folks. And that's what we look for. When you get over the 200, you look for it to bounce off that 200 like a diving board. And each jump up makes you go up higher than the time before. So this is what we're looking for. And now our 200 that was falling flat right there, now it's rising. Every MA is rising, including the 200. All of our oscillators are rising except our RSI because of that one red bar right there. It was up near the overbought. Now she is down to 60. Taking a look at our 5-day, 15-minute, going sideways basically for the last 4 days with this scary dip. And then we jumped this morning pre-market. She took off from 64 cents before the bell, hitting 75 cents, came back at the bell to the 9-day and ripped on that all day long. Never came under it with a full bar. She came through it with a wick, folks. I only get nervous when I see the full bar completely under it. If it's halfway under it, I'm nervous, but I'm not panicking yet. A full bar, I'm doing something because it just changed. You can't climb if you're under the 9. So if it comes under the 9, I'm out of the game if I have a position. But a wick, no, wicks aren't going to get me out. We did have a wick here, solid bar sitting on the 9, came all the way down. She came right back up immediately, sitting on that 9. Now comes the 20. When you see a stock going sideways and there's nothing underneath it, it's probably waiting for something to get underneath it. This 20 finally caught up to it. We've seen a wick come through, but the full bar is still on top of it. I would presume she's going to bounce. All the other MAs are coming up underneath, giving more support, more power. We now have a climbing 200. Oscillators are a little cool right now. I'll give you that. Sensor high bubble. Things have been falling and drooping and getting lazy. So they're not too excited. But I would watch Tune going from 9 million to 25 million in a quarter. That's huge, especially with this company. And they're in profitability across the board. Lowered their expenses, kicked up their revenues and profit. All looking good to me. That be Tune. So let me come on back to you guys. See what's going on over here. See if I remember to do what I'm supposed to. See if what you guys are talking about. See if there's anything I've done wrong. I thought you were looking at the cooler chart. It was up. Did you guys get to see it? Yeah, that was the cooler chart live. I don't take pictures of charts and share those. QUBT is a straight bar up. What? Okay, let's take a quick look just to see, there's no reason to miss it if it's happening because you guys can trade. I'm stuck here, but you guys can trade. QUBT. Look at that aftermarket period. Let's come down to the 1 minute. She's still climbing. So we've got a climbing PPO, we've got a climbing MACD, we have an RSI, which is in the overbought right now, still in the overbought with a little bit of uptrend. Our ADX has more strength for the uptrend than the downtrend. If that red line on the bottom, folks, that red line right there is my priority for all my trades. I look for this to go on the bottom. When I am in a stock and I want it to go up, I want my green line up, I want my red line down. As soon as that red line comes up off the floor, that's it. I get out of my trades because it can move very quickly on options. It can also move very quickly on a stock. It can fall fast. So as soon as I see this start coming up, I get worried. But as soon as that green line starts going up and the red line goes down, that's my entry right there. As long as all my other lines are looking good and I'm glancing at those. What is this? Looks like they just reported earning conference call at 3:30 p.m. time. So I don't know. Is that Pacific Mountain time? No, they don't have those for another hour. Another hour. So this is running, I am presuming, because people think they're going to have good financials and people want to get in before they report. That's my guess. Looks like the wrong chart. Really? Uh-oh. All right, hold on. Wow. See, this is this is sad. All right, hold on, folks. I'm going to bring you back here. Did I actually not show you cooler? What was I possibly looking at if it wasn't cooler? I have no idea now. Let's see. We didn't look at that chart, did we? What? Oh my God. I'm deleting this video. This one sucks. Matter of fact, we're going to... This is embarrassing. I have no idea what chart that was, folks. Cooler is in bad shape. Look at that chart, folks. She has been on a nice uptrend for the last 5 days. Let's see. She's been climbing for about 2 weeks now. We had a nice strong rip here 5 days ago, going from $1.32 up to $1.81. Then she fell back to the 9. And what happened? Why did she fall today? She started falling pre-market, has been falling all day, and is falling after market as well. Whoa, yes, sir. Holy cow. They've just had earnings. What time are they reporting? That's 3:30 in the afternoon, Pacific Mountain time. So that's like 5:30, 6:30. Isn't that like 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time? So this is falling before they've reported, right? Is that what I'm thinking? So this doesn't look good either. No, this chart is looking real bad right now. If you're in it, God, I hope you had a stop loss. And if you've been holding it for a while, looks like you're going to be holding it for longer. What does this look like on the yearly chart? Well, she's actually in an uptrend. I mean, she was doing nothing. We had that solid rip up to 549. She's come all the way back down to the 200, but the 200 is climbing, and we are actually setting up in a reverse 200 squeeze right now. Yeah, the chart looks really bad on the short chart, but your long chart on cooler, you've got a breakout happening. Our 200 is climbing, our 200 MA, right? And our 200 Hall is falling, but that's still 200. These 200s are even. They have the same amount of power, the same amount of authority. The only difference is the 200 Hall is friendly and the 200 MA is a rude, just rude. But once it got on top of the 50, you can see our little bars got bigger. She took off. She did get to and through the 200. She's had a pullback, which is what we always expect, either to the 200 or the next MA underneath it, which is exactly where we're at. Now, this is a daily chart. So every bar is covering a day. So to wait for this to change, we need a whole day, which means you got to go through hell and be dragged through glass before you get back to a good smooth road, if that's what we're thinking is going to happen here. I sure apologize for that. I did not mean to do that. God. That's why I like to set my charts up early, type them in, because I get one letter wrong and it comes up. I may think that's the chart, and I think that may be what happened. Yes, Taylor. Hey, did you know? I guess I can tell you. Taylor's pregnant again. Yeah, she just had a baby, which is why she left. She had a baby to take care of, and she just got pregnant again. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing Taylor for a long time. She's not even trading anymore, she said. She's too busy. She's got a lot of stuff she's doing right now. Cooler wasn't a SPAC. You're right. You're right, my friend. Cooler was not a frank. Thank you for relooking. God, I feel so embarrassed when I do that. What? What? Yeah, I know. What did I do? Okay, I don't think I have anything else lined up here, folks. Let me take a quick glance here. No, that was everything I had. So we're going to take a look at something you have put up on the board. Wow, it's only 15 minutes to 5. Let's see what you got here. Where is Mark? Bum, ba-da-dum, bum. Come on, guys. QUBT, CASK, SPC running hot. Okay, I'm going to presume these are penny stocks. Let's take a look at space. Why do we do that? I don't have a clue what's going on. I just like that ticker. Sounds better than cask. So we're going to go take a look at space. Let me get my window up for you, so I'm not showing you a blank window. Space it is. SPCE. Virgin Galactic Holdings. Oh, yes. When I was in the UK, man, Virgin was everything. Virgin has their own TV. They've got, Virgin this, Virgin that, Virgin everything. Virgin was the big company in the UK. So space, ticker SPCE, Virgin Galactic Holdings, based out of California, is at $3.35, and she has fallen 5.6% today. Look at this. Another penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. I swear we can go months without seeing one here. So Virgin Galactic Holdings is an aerospace and space travel company focusing on the development, manufacture, and operation of spaceships. Who uses that word anymore? And related technologies. The company engages in the design and development, manufacturing, ground and flight testing, and space flight operation. He wants to be, he was, God bless it, Tesla's owner, Elon Musk. Thank you very much. Brain fart. He was the Elon Musk over there, and he was ahead of Elon Musk in the space race, but Elon Musk has just surpassed him, and he is falling behind fast. I think I even read he had an accident. Virgin Galactic had a big problem with the launch. I think I recall that. Let me see. Space flight systems for private individuals, researchers, and government institutions. Virgin Galactic. Let's take a look at their website. Turning the impossible into the inevitable. Well, how long are you going to take to warm up? Gee whiz. Oh, isn't that pretty? Yeah, they got a nice shuttle. Is that all the page? My page is not moving. Nope, they don't give us any links, and it's not going anywhere. So we're out of here. So much for their website. Okay, let's see what we can get. We're going to start from one side and work over. This is the way I do mine. So their relative volume, they doubled it. They've been doing 1.5 million. Today they did 3.1 million. Share structure for space. That's decent. Outstanding share count is about 36 million. No clue what the insiders own. Don't know what the outstanding share count is, except to say it's not over the outstanding share count, 36 million, and could be considerably less depending how many shares the insiders own. Market cap, we're at 126 million. Financials. Is he making money? Yes, and it's increasing. What? How does he do that? I mean, if this was his TV network, maybe, but space, there's got to be expenses here. He's getting to keep every single dollar. I don't know how he does that. Their revenues have been increasing over the last 4 years, going from 3.2 million up to just over 7 million. Like I said, they get to keep it all. Quarterlies, they're still keeping all their money, except it's falling now. A year ago, we were at 2.8 million. Now we're at 429,000. Balance sheet for the company. Lots of money in the bank. 210 million. Could be 210 quid. I don't know. Total assets for the company, just under $1 billion, 961 million. We got 2/3 of that in liabilities, 638 million. So we get 1/3 of that in stockholder equity, 322 million. It all looks pretty good to me. Disclosures. We've just had their financial come out. Let's see here. Is it at the top? Current assets, we are at 903 million. Total liabilities, 631 million. So that's all right. That's all caught up. Let's see. 2025 relative volume. And let's see. Okay, I don't see anything new here. All right, so let's jump on back to here. That 8K will go with the 10Q. You always get one of those. It's an easier read if you don't want to go through the entire 10Q. We got a 13G here with an A. That's somebody who invested a while ago. POS X, I'm not sure what that is. Proposed sale to the public. It's a public offering. For how many shares? I have no idea. I don't know, folks. I'm not familiar with this filing, but they didn't throw any numbers in there for us yet. And Form 4 here, this is on the 22nd. That's as far as we'll go. This is an insider purchase or sale, or it could be something else. This is them getting or losing shares of the company's stock, and they can do that in a lot of ways. They've done this in a different way. Up here in the corner is who is doing the deal. This is who they are in the company, the CPO, the date they did it, and this is what they did, the code. A P for a purchase, an S for a sale. Any other letter is something else, and I really don't care about the other letters. It'll tell you how many and for what price, and over here it'll tell you how many shares they have after that deal. And down here, it'll normally give you a reason for what the heck is going on. Represents the number of shares of common stock withheld by the issuer to cover reporting person's taxes. So there was some sale here to cover taxes. No big deal. We're not worried about it. And the news. See what we got running over here. All right, going back to February, reports fourth quarter revenues, reports inducement award under New York Stock Exchange. Inducement awards, these are giving shares to executives, people they're trying to lure to the company. These are inducements. It's a bonus. Come to us. We got a sign-on bonus for you. Boom. You can have that just for joining us. Announces date of first quarter financials. Another inducement. Look at that. Another one. And another financial. We don't have any news here, folks. Just nothing going on. So what I could do here, real quick, let's see if we can jump over to Titan News. And we'll put in space. Not only do you get news over here, you also get a description of what the company does, a nice description. This is all done by AI. AI jumps into all the information it can find, and it writes up a blurb here about the company and what they do. And then when you come down here, you get a list of each piece of news each day. You want to see that news, you can either click it or you can come over here and get a blurb of just the news without going into it. Let's see here. Reports, inducements. They got no news. What the heck? So I can't tell you what's going on with this company. I would now have to start doing a Google search, see if they've got a Twitter account, put any news over there, which I'm not going to do right now, folks. But that's what we would have to do, get deeper and deeper into this. So I don't know if they have a catalyst right now outside of their financials, which obviously doesn't look like a catalyst. Well, no, that was for cooler. Let's not get our stocks confused here. So that does everything that we got over here. I can't find any other information. So let's take a look at that chart. Mark says it's running after hours, or has it been running all day? What's going on with it? Okay, this is our yearly chart. Looks like I played this a long time ago. These are all of our lines from then. I'm going to get rid of these supports and resistances so we can see everything. So this is our yearly chart for space. She's been in a downtrend for a full year. We got a high here that we can't trust because we had a 1 in 20 reverse stock split here. So all these numbers you can trust. This one will have to be divided by 20. It says $24, so it was probably $1.04 or $1, something like that. So she's been in a downtrend. We hit a low here, 52-week low of $2.18. And right now we are roughly $3.35. Off of that low bubble, she started climbing. She got on top of all of her MAs. She's on top of the 50 right now. 200 squeeze, as you would expect. 200 on top, 200 on the bottom. Wait for that 200 on the bottom to start turning up. This could easily run to and through that 200. We're at 340. This is at 530. It's almost a $2 run right there. Let me see. We got lots of volume today. PPO is climbing softly, but it's climbing. We have strong ADX. It's not as strong as it can get. We got room for improvement there. MACD is climbing. Our RSI is falling. Yeah, it's falling. Right now it's at 59. Take a look at our 6 month. Nope, that's the hourly. 6 month. Nope, that's the yearly. Arrgh! So this is the 6 month, 4 hour view. So our 200, she is really hanging on to that. You can see she's struggling to stay with the 200. And then right here, the 200 started to bow down, and that's when she lost it. We were at $8.19 when she fell underneath the 200 and kept falling down to $2.18. Off of that low, she got on top of everything. She's on top of the 50 right here, right? There's our 200 changing colors, starting to climb. She gets to the 200. Surprise, surprise, she didn't actually get through it. I don't see any wicks. Did not. She came back down to the 50. We're still in a 200 squeeze here. There you go. Bam. Through the 200. Back down to the 200. Another bounce up. Back down to the 200 and the big rip. You can see the pattern here, right? When you come out from underneath the water, underneath the 200, you're underwater. You can't even breathe under there, and you dang sure can't move fast. But once you get on top of the surface and you're in the air, now you're moving. And that's what we look for. Bounce, bounce, jump, jump. And this is playing out exactly the way we expect. All the MAs have crossed the 200 now. Our 200 is flat right now, just getting ready to turn up. All of our oscillators are looking outstanding. PPO's got a strong incline up. Our volume is growing, getting stronger and stronger. Our ADX, look at that bar. That green bar is going up and our red bar is going down, meaning our uptrend is strongest. The yellow bar is telling you how strong the dominant trend is. The higher it goes, the stronger it is. This is getting stronger. Our MACD right now is climbing. Look at that. Fast and hard. Big green bar. After these green bars were diminishing, we get lots of power in the picture. And we just bursted right back into overbought, falling from 72 down to 59 and then bursting up to 76. Folks, there's a lot of heat in this chart right here. She is breaking out strong. I expect a pullback. Whenever you see something push that hard, a little common sense comes into play. She's got to come back down because it's not an eagle. It's a kangaroo. Yeah, she bounced strong, but she's got to come back down and hit something before she can go back up. So we are expecting that to come back down. Right now, she's at 335. Where are we at? We're underneath it. So yeah, we're way down here right now. Let's come on down to our 1 hour. Well, we have definitely changed our trend. We were doing nothing here, hit that low, got up on top of the 200. We are bouncing off the 50 primarily, hit the 200, and we're ripping. So between the 50 and the 200 is where she likes to bounce. She likes to stay between the two strongest MAs. She's not much interested in that 20. And when she bounces quick. Take your gains, folks. When she comes down, she likes to dip hard, but she bounces quick. So take your gains. Get used to taking small gains. When I play my options, look, if it looks like it's going to start taking money from me, I don't care if I'm at $100 or $10. I may have paid $200 for that option, and I'm only $10 up. But if it's going to start taking money from me, why shouldn't I take just $10? Right? I could be $10 down, $20, $30. Now should I sell? No. As soon as I see the charts going the wrong way, hell with you. I'm out of there. I'll take a little gain over any loss. Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. Aftermarket is where it all ripped. Holy cow, what's this blue bubble? lots of reportings going on. They already reported earnings of minus $2.2. That's what it says. Actual was 2.3. Well, they're happy with it. And it is running, folks. She has jumped from 336, hitting a high of 450. She's come down to the 9, and right now she is floating over that 9. Now, yeah, she's climbing strong right now. All of our oscillators are looking strong. The one I would be concerned with here is that ADX. Everything else is climbing. Every single one. Strong volume. Everything looks good. But our green line is coming down. We still have strength going to it, though. Okay, it's above the red line, so it's still strong, but it is diminishing. The only thing saving us right now is that red line is still pointed down. It's still pointed down. Now, as soon as that starts to turn up, I expect this to come back down to the 9. Sooner or later, it's got to come back down to that 9. So when that turns up, I would expect it to come to the 9 and then look for a bounce, see if the volume is still strong, see if they still want to give money to the stock, and she could continue running. Let's get a bigger chart here. That is the 15 minute. Let's take a look at the one minute. That is going to really be the telltale sign, right? So she took off here very, very, very fast. No volatility stops after market. She came back down to the dynamic duo. If she breaks to 20, watch for the bounce off of the dynamic duo, the 200 haul and the 50. That's exactly what we got. She's up to the 20 right now. She is struggling with every single MA. They're all there with her right now. So this is the decisive point right here. All of our MAs are kind of ready to roll over. They could easily turn up or they could easily roll over. We are getting right at the level point. Looks like she's starting to bounce. Let's take a look at our oscillators. Our PPO is starting to bounce off of our line there. ADX. Our downtrend is falling, but so is our uptrend. When everything is falling, it's a decision period. We're waiting. The coin is in the air flipping right now. When everything is falling, or if everything is in the middle, because this goes from 0% to 100% on your ADX. If it is at 50%, that's neither here, neither there, right? It's in the middle. So if your stuff is in the middle, don't do nothing yet. Don't do nothing. Wait till you know it's going to go up or down. That's a probable move. And take your gains as soon as it looks like it's going to stop doing what you want it to. All right, that takes care of space, ticker SPACE. Looks like all we really had was financials, and that's all they ever give us in the news anyway, so that kind of worked out. Let's see here. I need a bit of nicotine. I think she'd like hearing that, but I don't think she'd actually admit it. Okay, let's see what you guys have been saying here. Taylor, thank you, John, for relooking. What? Not seeing Taylor again. I invite her every week. I want you to know that. I invite her every week. She hasn't charted since she left. Now, I'm not saying you forget, but you do fall out of habit, and I trade every single day, and I trade the same thing every single day. I do trade stocks, but every single day I trade the Q. I am getting very familiar with the Q, and what I share with you about the ADX, I'm learning from the Q. Now, the Q is a volatile stock. It is liquidity to the max. It never takes a break. It never stops. There isn't a slow time. It may be going sideways, but it's got volume. It's always coming in. So it is a moving object all the time. And I play it as soon as I see all the technicals go one direction or all the technicals go the other, I get in. And as soon as I see that bottom line on the ADX, whether it be green or red, if I see it change direction, I'm out. I'm out. I just take my gains. I don't care. Even if it keeps going, I don't care. I'm not losing money. I never get upset if there's money on the table. As long as I keep taking gains over and over and over again and add them up by the end of the day, my 50, my 10, my 100, all add up. I end up $300-400 a day if I follow my rules and I pay attention. Yesterday. Yeah, I lost $550 yesterday. Last Friday, I lost $800 in one day. It was at the end of the day. And really, the reason that happens is because I'm looking at other charts for other people. I'm looking for answers to questions, and I'm not watching the chart. And it can move very quickly. And with an option, in less than a minute, I can be $100 up with a $200 option in the money. And in less than a minute, I can be in the red because it just moved that much. Bink, one drop. And it's like, no. So you've got to watch the charts when you're scalping. There is no talking to people, watching TV, answering the door. I don't even go pee until I get out of a trade. And if I do, I'm scared to death. Something's going to happen. Scared to death. Boom. Money, 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 money. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, buddy. $5 here, $3 there. I love any gains. All gains are good. And I will take money from anybody. Anybody. Thank you. I'm not proud. Money is useful. Why wouldn't I take it? Thank you, pal. All right, what time is it? 5 o'clock. We got time for another ticker. Make sure everyone hits that like button. Do it, folks. If you're not going to give me money, at least give me your appreciation. I appreciate it as much as the money. I do. All right. Well, doesn't look like any of you are giving me any tickers. You want me to leave? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to go? Ain't doing it. All right. Mark's the only one playing ball with me here. So, Mark, me and you going to play some more. Boom, buddy. I'm loving you more and more. Cask. C-A-S-K. Oh, while I pull this up, let me get this sticker down. In case you haven't been watching all my videos, shame on you. I've got to report EPAS. I see you there, buddy. Mark, maybe I do EPAS since I've already covered one of yours. Yeah. Okay. Cheers, buddy. In June, second week of June, I do believe the 9th, 10th, and the 11th, Penny Boys is having a trader seminar over in Chicago, and I am going. It was a last minute decision. I'm going to take my bus. I actually own a shuttle bus. I did have a car, but it broke down and the brain for it died. And it's hard to get a brain for a 2007 Ford Focus wagon. So I'm just driving my bus. Anyways, I'm going to be gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There is not going to be any news going up on Twitter or Discord. I don't know who's going to cover my Penny Boys page. I honestly don't. There's not going to be any videos on those days. I'm just not going to be around. I'm going to be in Chicago learning all I can from the coaches, the owner of Penny Boys. These guys know what they're doing. They've got P&Ls that show you a winning track record and lots of money. They have systems that they use over and over and over again. Each one of them has found what makes them money, and that's what they do. I play Q options and I play breakouts on the 200 squeeze as my primary plays because I understand them. It doesn't mean I get them right all the time, but it means I get them right more often than not. And as long as you're winning more often than you're losing, you're going to be gaining wealth. And if you do something well over and over and over again and quit dilly-dallying around with other stuff, it'll add up a lot faster than you think, folks. And that's who I'm learning from. I'm going to learn the 20 MA strategy. I know how to use the 20 MA, but there's a strategy that I'm going to learn from Mad Maverick. I do believe it's Mad Maverick strategy. I'm going to learn from Quench. He's got some strong strategies. Boy, he's the owner of the company. He picks some big winners. He's got a watch list over there at Penny Boys that he shares with everybody. So I am going, just wanted to let you know that. So we're going to take a look at Travis's. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. We're going to look at EPAS. I was in EPAS. I might still be in it. I don't know. Hard to say. Let me get rid of this. I own something like, I don't know, 130, 140 stocks. I bought a lot of them back in 2018 to 2021, COVID. Most of them were cannabis. And then I got trapped with a whole bunch in February of 2021 when we had the biggest, hottest month the market has ever seen. I got trapped in a whole bunch. So I got a lot of dead stocks that have fallen, that are 98, 70, 60% down. And I'm waiting for some of them to come back. A lot of them have died, probably won't ever come back. Most are doing reverse stock splits, stealing my money. And EPAS was one of those, I'm thinking. So let's jump on over here. Check out EPAS. Nope, I didn't hit my button. Aha, good thing I got this other computer over here to tell me. Now we're good. Yes, EPAS. I remember EPAS as having wallets, and I remember them having super websites and stuff like that. Let's go see what we can learn about EPAS. So we're looking at ticker EPAZ. This is EPAZ Inc., based out of Illinois. Finished the day at 2.5 cents, and she was down 0.75%. This is on the very bottom of the OTC, the riskiest stocks you're going to trade, a pink. The reason they're risky is they give you very little, if any, validated information, including financials. You don't get a audited financial unless they voluntarily uplist to the 10K. Nope, they're not using 10Ks. So they did not uplist. They did not voluntarily go there. So what we get are disclosures, which are just tallies of what they do with their money from their point of view, which really doesn't help us. No fundamentals. You don't get any filings. The only thing you really get are pieces of news. And folks, you got to take those with a grain of salt. Take it from someone who knows. Most of those stocks I was just telling you about were pinks. Had great news. So I thought they were going to be hot. And things always happen. The guys leave, the technology goes away, something goes wrong, the merger can't happen. So it falls and crashes and never comes back. Take news with a grain of salt. Don't let it be the reason you're investing. To trade, yes. To invest, no. You're going to get into a pink for an investment. First thing you do is you study the management. The management of pinks, there's a lot of scammers out there, folks. There are. You need to look at them, see their history, see their past failures or successes. This tells you more about the company than any of their news presses. So EPAS, we've got verified information that came from the OTC markets. They're on the OTC. You can invest in them if you want. This is their business. This is what they do. House all this information and check on companies. And they have verified a profile and a transfer agent for this company. That's the only validated information we have for this company. Thank God. So what is the EPAS about? Let me see. They specialize in enterprise cloud business process software, metaverse solutions, that's right, blockchain mobile apps, battery technology, and drone technology solutions with over 500 repeat customers. Ah, yes, EPAS acquired DeskFlex back in 2008. That was their primary product. It is a software product for businesses to take care of all sorts of things in their business. DeskFlex is developing Metaverse Virtual Office. This is what they were doing just before COVID, when the Metaverse was real big. It was getting hot just before COVID hit, and everybody was trying to create offices and worlds and properties in the Metaverse. They were doing that too. I ain't heard anybody interested in doing any of that anymore. Maybe after COVID, we're tired of being isolated. And the Metaverse is just another way to isolate yourself. Let's see here. DeskFlex has added social distance features. See, they haven't even updated this yet. Pandemic, blah, blah, blah. EPAS spun off ZenaPay in 2018. New Bitcoin mobile app, which is a financial technology company that offers unique Bitcoin and Ethereum payment mobile app software, allowing consumers to acquire Bitcoin at the point of sale. Okay, so let's see. Let's start over here with the relative volume. See if we should be looking for anything special. Well, her volume fell today, going from 43,000 shares down to 7,000 shares. Now, keeping in mind we are on the OTC market, which, let's update this. Up here, you get all the information about the OTC. We got 12,300 companies. We did a total amount of money for all the shares moved for all the companies, $2.7 billion. That's it. 3.5 billion shares. That's it for all 12,000 plus companies. Before COVID, we were doing 60 to 70 billion shares a day. Once COVID hit, we fell. And for 2 years, more than 2 years, we have been under 5 billion shares on the OTC market, and it has not recovered yet. Taking a look at share structure for EPAS. Whew. I was expecting a huge share count. I wonder if they had a reverse stock split. I'm thinking they did because the insider shares are really low. And when we go through a reverse stock split, so do they. So we now have about 16 million shares outstanding. It says the insiders don't even own 200,000 shares. Really? At 2 cents a piece? Are you kidding me? Come on. The insiders got to own more than that. That is May 12th. So that's from 3 days ago. That concerns me. When the inside, now that's not to say they don't own shares. They could own preferred shares and all kinds of other things. But I would like to see a stronger holdings on the common shares. So we get about 15 million shares, which isn't bad. Just because they don't own a lot, that's not bad. Anything under 100 million, I consider good. Anything under 25 million, I really consider a low float. 10 million is the actual number. So 15, 16 million, that ain't bad at all. But we got to do more than thousands of shares a day. Looking at the financials for the company, well, they're making money. And I'm going to bet it's on their software products, presumption here, because they don't pay anything for the money they're making. And they do work with blockchain, metaverse, mobile apps, which are all digital. So over the last 4 years, they've been pretty much hanging right there at about 2 million, a little above, a little below, but not really getting far. Right now, we're on the low end of that, 1.8 million, but they got to keep every penny. Quarterly reports, they're falling. We were at 500,000 a year ago, struggling to hold on to that, and now we are under 400,000, 385. Balance sheet, not much money in the bank, about $61,000. Total assets, about 9.5 million. Total liabilities, about 3.3 million. So we are holding stockholder equity at least. We're not holding a bag here. We got about $6 million. So they're making a little bit of money. They're making a little bit of profit, and we're holding stockholder equity. So their head is above water, just their head. Disclosures. Okay, let's see. 2023, not interested. 513, their quarterly report. How far did these quarterlies go here? Did not go that far. So let's go take a look at that financial. Real quick, poke our head in there just to see what's going on. Up here, it's a disclosure. Quarterly report. All right, let's see what we can find here. Always look at these boxes, see if they've changed their shell status, which means shell status means that they are not in business, are not making any money. That means shell status. If you're shell risk, it means you're in business, but you're not making any money. They shouldn't be shell. Let's see, has a company changed their shell status and have they changed control? You'd be surprised how many times they don't even announce a change of control, and you'll see the box checked. That becomes an interest. So let's come on down here, see what we've got for our shares. It's kind of tough for me to read all together like that. Dun, 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 dun. Total shares, what? 300,000. I was looking for the money, actually. Those are all the people invested in the company, one way or the other. All the way down at the bottom should be our blue numbers. Come on, where are you at? There you go. Okay. Expenses, blah, blah, blah. Revenue. There's our revenues. 659,000 as of March 31st. 659,000. So I'm forgetting what we actually had back here. 600. That's a big jump, folks. Okay. We just doubled our revenues from the last quarter from 385 to 685, 89,000. So that's a good thing. We would have missed that if we didn't dive into the financials and at least look for that one piece of information. So what do we got going for news besides the financials? 2024, we got nothing up here. And we got nothing down there. So let's take a quick look over here for EPAS. Spelt it wrong, didn't I? No, I didn't. Yay. Okay, lots of information over here about what they do. Solid state battery technology. EPAS pioneers research into AI-driven solid state battery systems. You realize solid state means there's no lithium. These are the safest batteries in the world. I'm not quite sure if we have one out there yet. Everybody's trying to be the first mover on that. And then solar-powered crypto mining. How about that? Through their subsidiary Cryobo. So let's see what news we got here. Look at that. That is the most recent piece of news. May 8th, 2024, EPAS plans to spin off Galaxy Batteries, which is supposed to be their solid-state batteries. Real small things. I mean, we're talking small batteries that are super flat and just have two prongs and plug in. Bink. I don't know how big it would be for a car, but that's the way that they use. So we've got no news, folks. We've got absolutely no catalyst. All we've got is that the revenues have basically doubled from quarter to quarter. So that is everything we got. Let's go take a look at the chart. We'll make sure it's the right chart. I got to do that since I don't have anybody watching me. I need a button that you guys could just hit. You know, not my phone. That's smart, but I'm not smart enough to remember it. All right, so we got EPAS up. Let's kick this back to a year. Wow. So not a whole lot going on. I'm not going to say she's flat. I'm sure there's lots of bounces in there, but not much going on in there. Got a lot of lines. Let me get rid of those lines. Yeah, still pretty bloody flat in there, folks. So every single thing was here. The bars, all of your MAs. She was at 0002. And she jumped to, oh my God, you've got to be kidding. 15 cents. I can't figure that out. Let me see. That's 5. That would be 1,000. That would be 10,000. And then times 15. That's 150,000. That's 150,000%. It may even be more than that. It may be 1.5 million. That was a huge jump. In either case, if you'd have invested a $100 bill down here before she jumped, you could have made, 150,000 at least. Even if you sold down here at 6 cents, you would have made yourself $6,000, maybe 60,000. Yeah, I think 60,000. Wow, what a freaking jump. She came all the way back down to the 9, bounced on that, laid on that, came down to the 20, laid on that, hanging around going sideways, right? So what's she doing? She's waiting for as much support as she can get. The 9 was there. The 20 came in. Not enough. Here comes our dynamic duo, the 200 haul and the 50. They're now tagging it. Let's think there's going to be a bounce. Let's put this on our watch list. Let's take a look at our oscillators. PPO is falling. ADX is in a negative position with the red line on the top. MACD is falling. RSI is flat. So we ain't getting any hope here. Take a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Big ADX. Pretty much the same thing going on there. Looking at the, well, we've got a reverse, an inverse 200 squeeze. It's getting in position right now. Our 50 is at 2.8. Our price right now is 2.5. So we are just under the 50-day MA. 200 above it. 200 MA is down there, way down there. It is rising. Yes, it is. It just started rising. If it changed colors, we could see it. But it is rising. She is slowly climbing. Once this gets up here, folks, we could expect a jump. Our ADX shows power coming into the picture, does it not? Our downtrend is falling. Our uptrend is climbing. And the uptrend is getting more power. Oh, let's see what our MACD looks like. The MACD is my second strongest oscillator I use. I will not get into a stock that I want climbing if that is not up and over on top and climbing. So even though this looks good, no way. I want my MACD and my ADX both climbing. Those two are an absolute must. They got to be going in the same direction I want, or I ain't moving. They have to agree. And our RSI, it's just now trying to climb, and she is at 44. Brrr. I see frost down there. Looking at our 1 hour, 20 day, not doing much. Come on. Put a line there. You can see, I don't even need to draw a line. You can see she's going sideways. Look at that. She bounced here, broke it here. She's bouncing on it. So she is going sideways. This is what we call accumulation, consolidation. You do have buys, right? You got some sells, you got some buys, back and forth, back and forth. People are willing to buy this stock right now because they anticipate something. So we normally look for a move after a long consolidation. We look for it, we watch for it. And since we have an uptrend, our 200 is right there. She has hit the 200. Everything is right there. Our 20 is now turned up, which is a steering wheel for the price. Most of the time, it will follow that 20. Our 50 is flat. Our 200 is flat. There's no hindrance here. She has an opportunity to move. We just don't have a lot of heat, but the door is open. She can walk right through this door and change the game here. So we look at our oscillators now. She is in position. Has she got any heat underneath? We want the heat to come up. Whoa, look at this. It is working its way up with a lot of hesitations, but it is now on top of the other line. We got the same thing going on here. Look at that. Lots of hesitations, but we are in a power position here, but everything is working towards the middle, right? Every line is going towards the middle right now, which means a point of decision. So we don't do anything yet. We're looking at our MACD. Wow. So it is climbing. Now this is nice. We actually have a divergence here, folks. Our price is going sideways, but our MACD is climbing. They are not doing the same thing. They're supposed to do the same thing. Well, when it corrects, a divergence has to correct. It corrects to the oscillator. So the price has to change, which means it's going to have to go up to fix this problem. This is looking nice, sir. I'm liking this right now. It is now getting above the line here. It is now coming into strength, and our RSI is not giving us any help. It's like this, up and down, sideways. So we are waiting now for everything to break. This deserves to be on your watch list, folks. Our only catalyst appears to be the money again. Show me the money. And when you do, people get excited because that's the only reason we're trading stocks, for companies to make money and get wealthy and share their profits with us. So when they start making money, making profits, we start making money. EPAS, I think this deserves to be on our watch list for tomorrow. Coming back home. Hey, who's cooking? That smells good. I'm hungry. Pedro, what you saying, brother? I'm invested $2K April 2022 on this garbage, and now I have $63. Thanks, John. Oh, man. I hope it jumps for you, pal. I have got so many stocks that I'm holding, and I will not sell. You know how many people I've had tell me, just sell all that garbage and get your money? Really? You want me to take a stock that I got $1,200 in and sell it for $8? Folks, I got over $40,000, $50,000 lost sitting there on my board. I can see it. I can see how much I invested and what my portfolio is worth. I am so far down on it. I'm making money right now. I've made a few $1,000s in the last month, but I lost $60,000 since 2018 because I didn't know what I was doing. I was paying attention to all the wrong stuff like most investors do. So now I concentrate on what I have learned and I focus in on that. And pinks aren't part of the game. I'll trade them, but man, I want out of that thing as fast as I can get out of it. So now when I see volume start coming into one of my down stocks, I look to see if she's at a reverse stock split. I check her out. I will average that bad boy down hard so I can get out. If seriously, if I have 10,000 shares, I'll go out and buy 200,000 more freaking shares to get my price from $1.24 down to 6 cents when it's at 2 cents so I can get out. So it's very close to me, and I'm not looking to make a profit. I just want that money back. It has been gone for years. Now, if it looks like it's running, sure, I'm no idiot. I'll take my gains. But right now, I just want to get rid of them. I want to start over, get rid of that nasty stuff that's been holding me back and looking horrible on my portfolio. FCCN, por favor. Oh, Damien, my friend, you've come in so late. It's 5:30. This is about as far as I go. First, my voice gets a little rough. 5:30 is an hour and a half. Come on. This isn't a Titanic movie. You guys got better things to do. You're hungry. I'm hungry. But I do appreciate you being here, even if you come to the show late. Thank you. Thank you very much. Zidar, what's this about? That jump was due to the reverse stock split. Was it? Bloody hell, I didn't see a purple button. This is why due diligence can't be done quick, right? There's a lot of information, especially with these cheap stocks. They're struggling to survive right now. I have never seen so many stocks with low floats in my entire life. They're struggling to get their prices up to look respectable. Now, keep this in mind, folks. Whenever you get into an OTC stock, especially, if it is running, if it's in the double zeros and it's closing in on a penny, if it's got 3 days of hot running, it's been jumping up and going, go check and see if they've got a reverse stock split they voted on sometime in the last year. Easiest way to do it is go to Google, put in the ticker, the company name, and the word split consolidation, and maybe the word vote. See if they've got a reverse stock split, because if they've got one sitting there waiting to be used at management's discretion, now is when they're going to use it, when everybody is looking at that bloody thing. And if they don't do a reverse stock split, they do a public offering. When everybody is buying shares, they just slip some shares in there, and then all of a sudden you see the stock barrel down and you go, what's going on? Why is it falling? Then you go see they just flooded the market with 3 times as many shares as they already had. So your low float stock is no longer a low float. And if you didn't take your gains, now you're holding a bag and you're going to be there for a while. You lose 10%, folks. It only takes 11% to get back to even. You lose 90%. It takes 900% to get back to even. That's hell. I got a lot of hell in my portfolio. I don't want you to have any hell. So I share all this bad stuff I've been through with you so that you can learn from my mistakes. Zidar has covered FCCN before. On paper, looks terrific. It went all the way to $10. I sold then and accumulating again. Boom! That's what we're talking about. Take the gains, wait for it to fall. When it gets excited again, get into it again. I don't hold anything long, really, because right now, with AI coming into the picture, quantum computing coming into the picture, it is really tough to tell what is going to take, what is going to hold. So right now, the only thing I take are my gains. And when the market starts to change, when tariffs finally settle out, when we start to see where our country's going, we're not even real sure what we're doing yet, then I'll start considering a few long holds. But then consider my age. A long hold for me is 10 years. I don't want to have my money tied up. I know Warren Buffett's older than me probably, but I want to spend my money before I'm too old to enjoy it. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a day. I'm hungry. My voice is going. I need some nicotine, caffeine, THC. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. We missed 420. I appreciate you all being here, folks. Without you, well, I just look pretty silly. I'll be back here next week. Next week I'll be back. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Bring me your tickers. We're looking for hot stocks that we can share with everybody. I'm not very popular. These videos don't get a lot of views, but you guys are here amongst each other. You're a community amongst yourself. So feed each other. I got a community over in Penny Boys, but I got a community here too. So I appreciate you being here. And since I say that, why aren't you folks who come to all my live videos, why don't you visit me over at Penny Boys? It's free. You don't have to actually, participate if you're worried about that. You don't have to add to us. You can just leech. you can just take. We're there to help you make money. I'm there helping you find trades every day. Scott's helping us find trades. Mark is helping us find trades. Speedy Racer is helping us find trades. Spicy Racer. We got lots of people that are posting hot charts that are righteous now. Come on. You want to make money? You know that's all I'm about. All right. I'll see you next week, folks. Thank you very much for being with me. You bet, David. I'm so out of here.